Hello students. Today we are going to cover lesson number 4 of Science and Technology part 2, standard 10, Maharashtra board. The name of the lesson is Environmental Management. This lesson comes under the Environmental Sciences section in Science and Technology Part 2, and myself, Mrs. Prachi Surudikar, will explain this lesson to you. So let us start with the lesson Environmental Management. In this lesson, we are going to cover the subtopics like ecosystem, a review, and second topic, that is environment and ecosystem. These two subtopics we are going to cover in this video. Before we proceed further, please like, subscribe, and press the bell icon. So let us start with our topic. Ecosystem, a review. So ecosystem is formed by biotic and abiotic factors. You know that there are so many biotic factors which are present in our nature. Now what are biotic factors? Biotic factors are the living things that are present around us, like plants, animals, insects, worms, all are the biotic factors. And abiotic factors. Abiotic factors are the non-living things which are present around us. Now, the examples of these abiotic factors are air, water, land, temperature, atmosphere. All these are the non-living things. So, they are the abiotic factors. And the ecosystem is formed by these two factors, biotic factors and abiotic factors, and their interactions with each other. For example, plants. Plant is the biotic factor. They require air for breathing purpose, for making food, and air is the abiotic factor. So there is an interaction between biotic and abiotic factor, and such interactions together form the ecosystem. Now, the various factors of the ecosystem are, first one are the producers. Producers are plants. These plants are very important in an ecosystem because they are creating the energy, they are preparing their food by photosynthesis. So producers like plants are very important factor of ecosystem. Second factor is herbivores. Herbivores are the animals which consume the producers. For example, plants. So, the animals who consume the plants for getting energy are the herbivores. The example of these herbivores are deer, goats, sheep, cattle, horses, camels, etc. So they feed upon the producers, which is also very important. The next is predators. Predators are the animals who are dependent on herbivores for their food, or they feed upon the other animals. Like in a common language, we can say the non-vegetarian animals which eat other animals for getting their energy or for their food. The example of these predators are lion and tiger. So what is the role of these predators? So predators prevent the overpopulation of the herbivores, because if the predators are not there, the herbivores will go on increasing and their population will increase, and that is why it is important to consume the herbivores, and that work is done by the predators. So predators is also having the equally important role. Now the next is, you must have seen at the dirty places the termites, insects, caterpillars present over there. So what is the role of these termites and insects? So these termites and insects are also useful because they are responsible for cleaning of the environment. So these termites and insects are having the role in cleaning of the environment. So it means that our existence is due to these factors which are present around us. So we have to take care of each and every factor of the ecosystem, whether it is a biotic factor or whether it is a biotic factor. We have to take the care because we are the part of that ecosystem. And that is why it is called as the Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. Jivo Jivasya Jivanam is the Sanskrit phrase. So this indicates, Jivo Jivasya Jivanam indicates that to live, one organism has to feed on the another organism. Like producers are dependent on the abiotic factors like sunlight, air. So they are dependent on these abiotic factors. Then herbivores eat those plants, they feed on those plants, so they are depending on the producers. And that is why the producers are also the living entity, herbivores are also living entity, but this herbivore living entity is dependent on the producer living entity for their food. Similarly, the carnivores are also dependent on the herbivores, like lion is dependent on the goats. So similarly, the carnivores are also dependent on the food on other living entity, and that it indicates that the Jivo Jivasya Jivanam. So students, you have to discuss this idea Jivo Jivasya Jivanam in your notebook. So now the next is, can you recall which are the different trophic levels in the food chain? And the second, what is energy pyramid? So if we try to find out the answers of these questions, we will get the answers like this. Please note down these answers along with the question in your notebook. What is the question? Which are different trophic levels in food chain? So different trophic levels are, the first trophic level is the producer. Producers are nothing but the plant, so they are at the first trophic level. Then second are the primary consumers. Primary consumers are present at the second trophic level. Now primary consumers means the animals who are feeding on the plants like herbivores, deer, cat, etc. Then next is secondary consumers. So secondary consumers are the consumers or are the animals which feed on the primary consumers or the herbivores. So carnivores are present at the tertiary trophic level. Then next is tertiary consumer. So tertiary consumers are nothing but the decomposers. Whenever the carnivores are died or herbivores or producers are died, they are decomposed by these decomposers, which are the tertiary consumers. So these are the different trophic levels in the food chain. Second question is, what is energy pyramid? So energy pyramid is the diagrammatic representation of the energy levels of various trophic levels. So producers transfer their energy to the herbivores. Herbivores transfer their energy to the carnivores once the carnivores feed on them. So in this way the energy is continuously transferring from one trophic level to the another trophic level, and if this energy transfer is represented diagrammatically, then that is called as the energy pyramid. So it shows how the energy travels up a food chain. So these are the two questions that are asked under the section of can you recall. You have to write down these questions in your notebook. Second is, let's think. So whenever the board exams are concerned, in the board exam the activity sheet pattern is there where they have given you some examples and where they have asked you to answer the questions based on that situation or the example. So here also in the under the section of let's think, one situation is given to you and you have to apply the logic of your understanding. So what is the situation given over here? The situation is paddy is cultivated on large scale in various states of South India. Paddy fields are frequently attacked by the grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are green in color and they eat these rice grains. So they are present in the paddy fields. So similarly, frogs are also present in the large number in mud of paddy fields to feed upon the grasshoppers. So who is in the second? The frogs, because frogs are eating these grasshoppers. Then snakes are also present therein to feed upon their favorite food, frog. You all know that the frog is the food of the snake. So what is the food chain mentioned over here? Grasshopper. First, rice grains or paddy field. They are eaten by the grasshoppers. Grasshoppers are eaten by the frog and the frog is eaten by the snake. So this is the basically food chain. However, if the frog population declines all of a sudden, if the frog get diminished, now you have to write the answers. The first question is, what will be the effect on paddy crop? So as I told you, if the frog population declines, it means the grasshopper population will increase, because frogs, what was the role of the frog? They were eating the grasshoppers. So if the frogs are not there, the grasshoppers population will increase, and due to the increase in the grasshopper population, the rice grains, the production of the rice grains will not be possible in more amount. Second question is, number of which consumers will decline and which will increase? So which consumers will increase? The grasshoppers will increase, because the frog is not there to eat them. So that is why grasshoppers will increase and the snakes will decline, because the frogs are not there. So the snakes will not get their food and the number of snakes will decrease. What will be the overall effect on that ecosystem? So if the frogs population declines, there would be imbalance of entire ecosystem. So the number of prey and predator population will change, and thus the food chain will come to an end. So this is the overall effect on that ecosystem. Now, next questions is, can you tell? First question is, what is environment? And second question is, what is included in environment? So if you want to answer these questions, we have to move towards the second subtopic of this lesson, which is relationship between environment and ecosystem. About two questions you have to write in your notebook along with the answers. So relationship between environment and ecosystem. Environment is a broad concept and ecosystem comes under the concept of the environment. So environment is at large scale, it is the bigger sketch, and the ecosystem is one of the part of that sketch. So physical, chemical and biological factors affecting the living organisms in any possible way is called as environment. So this environment includes many factors like biotic factors, for example plants, animals, or biotic factors like air, water, land, etc. Natural factors as well as the artificial, which are man-made factors. So there are two main types of the environment. First type of the environment is the natural environment, and the second type of the environment is artificial environment. Natural environment is the environment which is present originally or the naturally in the on the earth. For example, various jungles or the forest areas are there. So we have not created or cultivated those forests that are present naturally. So that is the natural environment. Whereas artificial environment is also there. Like we are creating the sanctuaries. So these sanctuaries or the parks or the botanical gardens are all the artificial environments because human has created those environments, and that is why it is called as the artificial environment. So basically, this environment consists of two basic factors. First is biotic factor, and second one is the abiotic factor. And the science that deals with the study of interaction between biotic and abiotic factors of the environment is called as ecology. So in ecology, the relation between these two factors is being studied. So basic functional unit which is used to study the ecology is the ecosystem. Biotic and abiotic factors occupy a definite geographical area, and their interactions collectively constitute the ecosystem. For example, certain animals are present. For example, camels, lions, tigers, all are present on the land. So they are constitute the terrestrial ecosystem because they are present in a definite geographical area. So these biotic and abiotic factors which are occupying a definite geographical area, and the interaction is called as the ecosystem. So human existence is totally impossible without the existence of nature. If the nature is not there, human will not be able to survive. Hence, it is our responsibility of the human being to preserve the nature without disturbing its balance. So, balance of the nature or the natural cycles is very important. It is said that we have got this earth planet on lease from our future generations and not as an ancestral property of from our ancestors. Like all the properties, our homes and everything we got from our ancestor, the earth is not our ancestral property. It is we have taken on the lease. So we should not forget to conserve it for the future generation. And that is why if we want to conserve this for the future generation, the environmental balance, the balance between various cycles like carbon cycle, water cycle, nitrogen cycle, oxygen cycle is at most important. So the next subtopic in this lesson is environmental conservation. This subtopic we will cover in our next video. Thank you students. Thanks for watching.